Stop. Before you even think about hitting that sell button on your Bitcoin, watch this video first. Because right now, in 2026, we are witnessing the exact same psychological warfare that wiped out thousands of retail investors in 2018, 2022, and the massive flush of early 2025. History isn't just repeating, it's being weaponized. Here is the shocker. While the headlines are screaming the end of crypto, on-chain data shows that BlackRock, Fidelity, and sovereign wealth funds have increased their BTC holdings by over 22% in the last 60 days alone. They aren't scared, they are hungry. This is not a crash. This is a calculated wealth transfer. Every time you sell out of fear, you aren't cutting your losses. You are literally handing your future freedom to the 1% at a discount. You are being shaken out of the greatest asymmetrical trade in human history. Stay with me until the very end, because I'm going to show you the whale tracking data that proves exactly where the smart money is moving right now, and the one specific price level that signals the final shakeout before the next vertical leg up. If you want to stay on the right side of this transfer, don't click away. Your portfolio and your patience are being tested. Let's look at the real numbers. Let me paint you a picture. It's 2026. Bitcoin has dropped again. Your phone is blowing up with notifications, Reddit is on fire, your coworker who told you to buy in the first place is now telling you to sell everything. The news anchors are smiling, saying, "We told you so," and somewhere deep in your gut, the fear is starting to win. Here's the brutal truth. That feeling, that panic, is not an accident. It is engineered. And I'm going to prove it to you today. Because here's a fact that should stop you cold. According to on-chain data from Glassnode in Q1 2026, long-term Bitcoin holders, wallets holding for more than 155 days, have been steadily accumulating during every single dip this year, while short-term retail holders have been selling at a loss. Let me say that again. The big players are buying. The scared retail investors are selling. That is the definition of a wealth transfer. So today we are breaking down exactly why the 2026 Bitcoin crash is not the end. It is an opportunity, and what the Wise Money Playbook says you should actually be doing right now. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will see this market with completely different eyes. Point 1. What a wealth transfer actually means, and why it keeps happening. Okay, let's start with the big concept, because this phrase gets thrown around a lot, and most people don't actually understand it. A wealth transfer is not some conspiracy theory. It is a documented, repeatable market cycle. Here's how it works in plain language. Phase 1, an asset rises in value. Retail investors, everyday people like you and me, get excited and jump in near the top. Phase 2, the market corrects. Prices drop. The headlines get ugly. Retail investors panic and sell. Phase 3, institutional investors and long-term holders absorb those sold assets at a discount. Phase 4, the market recovers and hits new highs, and the people who sold, they missed the entire recovery and handed their upside to someone else. We saw this in 2018 when Bitcoin crashed from nearly $20,000 down to $3,200. We saw it in 2022 when it fell from $69,000 to under $16,000. Both times, the narrative was Bitcoin is dead. Both times, it was absolutely not dead. And here's what the 2026 data is telling us right now. As of March 2026, the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index has been sitting in extreme fear territory for several consecutive weeks. Historically, and I mean every single time this has happened, extreme fear has preceded significant price recoveries within a 3 to 12 month window. That is not hype. That is pattern recognition. So ask yourself this: are you going to be the person who sells into the fear, or the person who understands the cycle? Here's something most people never think about. Warren Buffett, the man who still does not own Bitcoin, has one rule he lives by: be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. The irony? That rule applies perfectly to Bitcoin right now. All right, let's get tactical. This is where Future Freedom 360 separates itself from the noise. We don't just expose the systemic rot, we give you the survival manual. In a world of 20,000 useless altcoins and manipulated local stock markets that rely on trust rather than truth, there is only one life raft: Bitcoin. Here are the 3 concrete moves from the Wise Money playbook you need to execute while everyone else is panicking. Wise Money move number 1: accumulate with precision, the DCA strike. If you have cash on the sidelines and you're tempted to go all in because it looks like a discount, stop. The market is designed to hunt for your liquidation price. It thrives on your impatience. Instead, use dollar cost averaging, DCA. Break your capital into smaller, surgical strikes. If you have $3,000, don't drop it today. Invest $500 every 2 weeks for the next 3 months. Why? Because in 2026, nobody, and I mean nobody, can predict the exact bottom of a global liquidity flush. DCA removes the toxic emotion from your brain, lowers your cost basis, and ensures you aren't the person who buys the first dip only to be wiped out by the real crash. Wise Money move number 2: purge the noise, zero altcoin exposure. This is the part most people are too weak to do. Audit your holdings right now. If you are holding next-gen tokens, shiny altcoins, or local stocks that depend on corrupt transparency, you aren't investing. You're gambling in a rigged casino. The Wise Money rule for 2026 is simple: zero altcoin exposure. Every dollar you have in a potential altcoin is a dollar that is not protected by the most secure computer network in human history. If you are losing sleep, it's because you're holding assets that rely on a CEO, a dev team, or a marketing department. Rebalance everything into Bitcoin. Precision is power. Everything else is a distraction. Wise Money move number 3: execute total sovereignty. Cold storage is your fortress. I need you to hear this loudly. Not your keys, not your coins. During market crashes, exchanges are not your friends. They get stressed, they freeze withdrawals, and they collapse, just like the exchange glitches we saw in early 2025. If your Bitcoin is sitting on a centralized exchange, you don't own Bitcoin, you own an IOU from a corporation. In 2026, a hardware wallet is not optional. It is the only way to officially exit the legacy system. Self-custody is the final step of financial sovereignty. It's the difference between owning a piece of the future and being a victim of a corporate bankruptcy. Let me hit you with a number that will change your perspective. According to 2026 on-chain data, roughly 3.7 million Bitcoin, nearly 18% of the entire circulating supply, has not moved in over 5 years. Think about that. These diamond hands have sat through global panics, regulatory wars, and every crash the media could invent. They didn't flinch, they didn't sell, and they aren't selling now. What do they know that the panic sellers don't? They know that Bitcoin isn't a cryptocurrency. It is the only finite, incorruptible property on the planet. While the world is selling the truth to buy a lie, the wise are simply stacking. Now, let's zoom out. Short-term price action is just noise. The real reason Bitcoin is more critical in 2026 than ever before is the macro reality we're all breathing in, whether you like it or not. Here is the cold, hard truth. In 2026, global debt hasn't just hit a record, it has hit a breaking point. The U.S. national debt has surged past $37 trillion and is accelerating. Central banks are trapped in a devaluation death spiral, printing money to pay interest on money they already printed. Since 2016, the purchasing power of your US dollar has plummeted by over 25%. You aren't just losing money, you are losing your life force, hours of your past labor to a silent tax called inflation. The mathematical escape: This is where Bitcoin becomes your wise money defense. Bitcoin is the first and only asset in human history with a mathematically fixed supply. There will only ever be 21 million. Inspirational coach, empowering and uplifting with a steady, reassuring voice. Period. No central bank can stimulus more into existence. No government can inflate it away to fund a deficit. While every fiat currency on Earth is being debased by unlimited printing, Bitcoin remains mathematically scarce. The 2024 halving cut the daily production of new Bitcoin from 900 down to 450. The supply is tightening at the exact moment the traditional system is leaking value. And the world is noticing. As of Q1 2026, over 70 publicly traded companies now hold Bitcoin on their balance sheets. These aren't retail gamblers. These are CFOs making a strategic decision to protect their company's future from a failing currency. From tech hobby to institutional bedrock, the narrative has officially shifted. Bitcoin is no longer a tech experiment. It is the core component of a modern institutional strategy. And you, right now, still have a narrowing window to accumulate before the next wave of sovereign adoption drives the price of a single coin beyond what the average person can ever afford. In 2021, it hit $60,000. They called it mania. Every single time, the skeptics were wrong about the trajectory because they were looking at the price while the wise money was looking at the protocol. I'm not here to give you a price prediction. Honestly, nobody can. But I am asking you a much more important question. At what point does the pattern become undeniable to you? At what point do you stop listening to people whose currency is losing 5% of its value every year and start trusting the math that hasn't failed in 17 years? Fraud alert. The crash scams you need to avoid right now. Part 4, Fraud Alert. The crash scams hunting you right now. Now, we have to talk about something serious. Every single Bitcoin crash acts like a dinner bell for financial predators. And in 2026, these predators have evolved. They don't want your money, they want your desperation. Here is your Fraud Alert 360 for the current market. Fraud alert number 1, the recovery expert mirage. If you've taken a hit in this crash and someone reaches out on Telegram, X, or via a professional-looking email claiming they can recover your lost funds or trade you back to profit, that is a scam 100% of the time. These vultures target crash victims because you are emotionally vulnerable. The FBI's 2026 trending data shows that recovery scams are the fastest growing category of fraud this year. They will ask for a processing fee or your private keys to start the recovery. The moment you pay, they vanish. Do not engage. Block and report. Fraud alert number 2, fake bottom signal groups. Right now, my DMs and yours are being flooded with paid Discord and Telegram groups selling guaranteed bottom signals or insider whale alerts for $100 a month. They use AI-generated dashboards and faked screenshots of million-dollar profits to look credible. Listen to me. Nobody knows where the exact bottom is. Anyone claiming to have insider whale info is simply a retail gambler looking for an exit liquidity, and they want your subscription fee to fund their own losses. Wise money follows on-chain fundamentals, not anonymous signal groups. Fraud alert number 3, the crash bonus yield trap. When prices drop, predatory DeFi protocols suddenly emerge promising 500% or 1,000% APY as a crash recovery bonus. They are fishing for desperate investors who want to make it all back in a week. These are almost always unaudited smart contracts or sophisticated Ponzi mechanisms designed to rug pull within 14 days. If the yield sounds like a miracle, it's actually a landmine. In a crash, capital preservation is the first law of wise money. You can't build a fortress from zero. If you lose your principal chasing a miracle, the game is over for you. Write this down. I will not let my desperation fund a predator's lifestyle. During a crash, your greatest asset isn't your Bitcoin, it's your discipline. Scammers hunt the emotional, the market rewards the stoic. If this video shifted your perspective even slightly, do one thing right now. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss a wise money alert from Future Freedom 360. Now I want to hear from you. Drop in the comments. Are you holding, buying, or did you already sell? No judgment, just real talk.
Say the following in this style. Inspirational coach, empowering and uplifting with a steady, reassuring voice. And if you want to go deeper, watch our next video, Why Your Bank Does Not Want You to Own Bitcoin in 2026. It will change everything. See you there.